Good evening. I'm Courtney Hicks. Welcome in. We begin with breaking news tonight. A fire at the Richmond County Detention Center. The call went out just after 8 this evening. We heard from Richmond County Sheriff Eugene Brantley just a few moments ago, who spoke at the detention center about the damage and the possible cause of this fire tonight.
Well, I'm glad the damage was no more than just the dryer that I was able to see, and some of the clothes, and maybe one of the Rubbermaid trash cans, and a little bit of damage on the back side of the dryer. But outside of that, very minimal.
So no major damage?
No major damage. Early indications from what the fire department mentioned to us was that possibly some lint and some oil from some of the rags that we typically wash and dry. Just the heat that is generated in those commercial type dryers may have started the fire.
All right, we are glad to hear that it was nothing actually too major. We are taking a live look now from outside of the detention center. Inmates were evacuated, but our crew did say that they went back in not too long ago. They do not believe there was any foul play involved with this fire tonight, and Sheriff Brantley also thanked the fire department and Central EMS for their quick response. We'll keep you updated as this particular story develops on through the night and tomorrow morning. To weather now, bringing in your first alert meteorologist. We thank Alice for that tonight. You can watch the funeral online at wrdw.com Saturday morning. It will begin at 4. Back here at home, a murder suspect is dead after fleeing from authorities, leading to a deadly crash that shut down the interstate lanes of Georgia Highway 10 between Thompson and Wilkes County. This is video from the crash where you can see the smoke rising in the distance. The McDuffie County coroner identified 43-year-old DeVico Moss from Thompson as the victim. He was being investigated in the deadly shooting of Mario Clemens almost 2 weeks ago. The chase began this morning at Moss's home as multiple law enforcement agencies served a search warrant. Moss drove away, leading to a chase. In that chase, an officer who was in pursuit crashed and flipped his squad car. A witness to the chase described it as shocking.
Just wow. It was just too much, because there was a lot of police and innocent people on the road, and they was going real fast.
Moss eventually crashed his Chevy pickup into an 18-wheeler, resulting in that fiery crash that killed him. It happened at Ridge Road and Washington Road. Officials say the officer that crashed his squad car was taken to the hospital to be evaluated. The driver of the tractor trailer was not injured. We'll keep you posted on this story. To Richmond County, where the sheriff's office encountered yet another standoff, this time with 26-year-old Terrell Crawford, who barricaded himself in a house on Hunter Street. Authorities say the incident lasted about 20 minutes, but nearby neighbors and an apartment complex had to be evacuated. SWAT negotiators communicated with Crawford using a loudspeaker, and he surrendered peacefully. Crawford had active warrants and a history of violence with law enforcement. Holocaust Remembrance Day. The Richmond County Sheriff's Office is asking for your help finding 16-year-old Jaden Linger, last seen around 8 last night, leaving an area near 2nd Street. She was last seen wearing a pink sweatshirt with a gray headscarf and gray furry shoes. She is known to frequent the May Park area. Anyone with information, please call the Richmond County Sheriff's Office. And the Columbia County Fair was closed today due to that weather Mikhail mentioned, but you can enjoy the last few days of the fair, but with some policy changes. So following an incident last weekend, the fair announced that all guests 17 and under must be accompanied by a parent. One parent will be allowed to bring a maximum of 4 children. You're going to have to pay for ride tickets and admission there at the gate for those 11 to 17. Anyone 18 and older will be required to show ID. Gates are set to open at 5 p.m. tomorrow, noon on Saturday, and 1 o'clock on Sunday. Alyssa?
On Your Sideline, sponsored by Chandler Law Firm.
Draft day is here. While NFL teams will be filling their rosters over the next few days, one local football player hopes to hear his name called, fulfilling a lifelong dream of playing at the highest level of the sport. That has to offer. This is Derek Canteen, a former Evans Knight, where he used to stop and run against some of the best in Columbia County. It's the same place he put pen to paper, committing with Georgia Southern. The DB would come home each summer to host a kids camp and so come back to the CSRA after playing in the ACC with Virginia Tech and then the Big 12 with the Cincinnati Bearcats. Home is where he'll be when that screen hopefully lights up with "The Pick Is In," his name right alongside it.
Since I was a kid, all the dreams I had, all the wishes I had was to make to the NFL, and but at the same time, going to college was a dream of mine. Going to a Power 4 program when I transferred, things like that. So every step, every year, honestly, has been dreams. I've been casting out dreams since high school, honestly. But the ultimate dream has always been to go to the NFL. So for this to be the next step and this to be so close to becoming a reality is something I really can't explain.
Want him to feel like, oh, you're big time or anything like that. So like as far as us, we try to keep it. You're still the brother, the younger brother. You're still son. For this to become the forefront for him has been really amazing. It can be overwhelming just because I'm like, wow, like this is his reality, and it's like we're about to go into the next step of his life. So it's been really good to witness that.
Once he declared back in December, Canteen has spent the last few months training in Canton, Georgia, then down in Frisco at the Star, where the Big 12 Pro Day was, and then back in Cincinnati with the Bengals for a workout. Okay, first dog was Michael Williams taken off the board, but Malachi Starks just came off the board at number 27 with the Baltimore Ravens. The 49ers went with that edge, Michael Williams, like we were talking about, from Columbus. That brings Kirby Smart's track record in the first round to 20. So that's 3 of them. Falcons went with linebacker Jalen Walker. It's the first time the Falcons and the 49ers have picked a Georgia Bulldog in the first round of the common draft era. Walker talked with Arthur Blank already.
They're sending a jet tomorrow morning. Yes, sir. His first dog ever to be a first-round pick from the University of Georgia is great. And of course, I'm just excited to start my journey here in Atlanta. Right, being there at Georgia, that program is ran better like no other. Being there to talk to the staff and be a part of the program, and of course, Coach Smart's pushing that standard. So when you get alone, when you get into these situations of going to be your own man, you are prepared and ready to take on the world full head on.
On to soccer now. The girls' first round continues. ARC was one to watch in the regular season, finished it just behind Harlem in the region. A 15-2 overall record. They were given the 9th seed slot against Calhoun. They settled in just before the first half was called. Down 2, Carson Murphy takes it up into the right side just after this catch here. There she goes. Bada bing, bada boom, inside the corner. Scoreless through the second half, and then they stick 3 on them. They'll face Dawson County next. There's your final score.
All right, thanks so much, Alyssa. And this NFL draft is going long. We're still waiting on some favorites to go.
Yeah, hey, but the Bengals already making some improvements, so I will take that, and I will walk
She's
myself
from
out the
Cincinnati,
door.
just in case you did that.
But Jalen Walker with the Falcons, you can't be mad about that.
Well, this guy over here is mad about his team. The Steelers.
What are we doing?
All right, thanks so much, Alyssa. Over at Aiken, the Dream Foundation helped a hospice patient achieve a lifelong dream. Patricia Turner says her mother was able to fulfill her last wish of riding a horse again, as her mother rode horses in her youth and hadn't been able to do so for some time. The family learned of her final wish a few weeks ago and talked about the dream being fulfilled at Sandy Farms.
It makes me feel pretty awesome to be able to, I'll cherish it and remember it forever.
We also heard from a worker at the farm who helped the dream come true.
Honestly, people come out here and these animals are designed in what we think to be fun, and a lot of times the fun is taken away from the work aspect of it. But you come in here, especially in a situation like this, and when you can brighten someone's day, or in this situation, brighten someone's life, man, that's what it's all about. Really, just seeing her smile when she was on the horse, there's nothing that can replace that. Eternally grateful. If that's what she wants to do, 100%. It was raining when she got here. And I told her and the family, I said, if you want to ride, we're going to ride in the rain. We don't care. We're going to make it work. So something and then she puts that trust in us, then I think that we are just privileged to give her that.
Indeed. Now, in spite that rain this afternoon, it did let up enough for actually 2 horse rides, and they even got to see a rainbow. As we bring in First Alert, meteorologist Mikhail Hannah Harding with the sour face.
Ignoring Courtney and her trash Detroit Lions because they haven't even picked yet. They need to pick in the first round or in the first round of Detroit. Okay, we'll see. But that was a beautiful story. Riley and I also posted pictures of the rainbows on our Facebook, but a great ending to her story as well. But we'll talk about weather when we come back after a short break.
Indeed.
At Parker's Kitchen, we go big. Our catfish sandwich. It's huge, bigger than the bun, with an extra large serving of Parker's signature sauce. At Parker's Kitchen.
First Alert Weather, where accuracy matters, keeping you alert during severe weather and helping you plan your day. We put our money where our forecast is. Each weekday, our forecasted high is within 3 degrees of the actual high. A local charity gets money in the bank. We were 100% accurate last month, and over $1,000 went to helping our community. No other Augusta station is on your side the way we are, keeping you ready for anything and putting our accuracy to work.
The First Alert Weather 3-degree guarantee, sponsored by Top Doctor.
Weinberger's Furniture is making room for the new during our re-merchandising sale.
New furniture, new mattresses, new rugs, and accessories, even a whole new department.
You have to see our latest styles and fresh new looks for every room in your home.
Enjoy discounts on all our furniture, including our new patio collection, just in time for spring.
Great styles, great savings, one incredible sale.
Can you save at Weinberger's re-merchandising sale? Yes, you can.
And we are back with
You can find ice-cold refreshment right here at Parker's Kitchen. Cool off with a large fountain drink for just 89 cents. That's a huge sweet tea for less than $1 at Parker's Kitchen. Live from Augusta, you're watching News 1226 this morning.
A fire at the detention center in Richmond County last night evacuated some inmates. We'll have the latest on what officials are saying caused it coming up. And a suspect dies after a chase with authorities in McDuffie County. We'll have more on what led up to his death in just a few minutes. But first, good morning. Thank you for joining us. I'm Nick Proto, 6 o'clock here on our Friday morning. We've made it to the end of the week here, Tim, and we are seeing a little bit of fog out there in some places.
Yeah, fog has definitely started to kind of creep in. It's spread out more and more close to the metro, between a quarter mile to 0 in a lot of our areas around South Carolina. 2 the time, Nick.
All right, thanks, Tim. The Richmond County Sheriff's Office says no one is hurt after a fire at the detention center last night. They say it started in the laundry room just after 8 o'clock. Now, this was the scene when our crews got there in the parking lot later on and found first responders everywhere, the sheriff standing right there as well. And the Sheriff's Office learned from the fire department that it likely came from kitchen towels that absorbed cleaning chemicals and grease inside of a large dryer. With how hot those machines get, deputies suspect the towels caught on fire. Some of the female inmates and trustees were evacuated because their dorms are close to that laundry room. We found the sheriff standing outside, making sure everybody was okay.
Well, I'm glad the damage was no more than just the dryer that I was able to see, and some of the clothes, and maybe one of the Rubbermaid trash cans, and a little bit of damage on the back side of the dryer, but outside of that, very minimal.
He says based on early indications, there are no signs of foul play. The cause is still being investigated. The sheriff's office mentioned later another dryer was damaged from that fire. They also gave credit to a detention center sergeant who used a fire extinguisher to fight those flames until the fire department got there. The sprinkler system also activated. Deputies say water led to other damages in the area. All operations are back to normal now. A suspect in Thompson is dead after leading deputies, SWAT members, and GBI agents on a chase. Slamming his pickup truck into a tractor-trailer, 43-year-old DeVico Moss was found under investigation for a shooting earlier this month. Your Taylor Martin is live at the scene at Ridge Road and Washington Road where that chase ended. So, Taylor, what do we know about this whole situation?
Well, Nick, like you said there, Deviko Moss was being investigated for the April 13th fatal shooting of Mario Clemens, and that happened in the 1800 block of Ridgeview Drive. Now, officers with the GBI and multiple other agencies showed up to his home in the 100 block of Favis Street just before 10 a.m. yesterday morning, and it was to serve a search warrant. But they say he saw them coming. When Richmond County SWAT officers approached, they say he sped away in a blue Chevy Silverado, causing McDuffie County deputies and state DPS officers to chase after him. The chase continued until a pickup crashed into a tractor trailer at Ridge Road in Washington Road, where I am now, and the pickup caught on fire. Now, Moss was pronounced dead on the scene just before 10:30 a.m. yesterday morning. We spoke with one woman who saw the chase.
I was just looking because I didn't know what to do. And they came right back up the road, flying again. I just stood back and watched. They was going up and down the road, and that's when Jalen, he had caught some coverage. When police had flipped their car in the ditch. Now, the driver of the tractor trailer in that crash did not suffer from any injuries.
Okay, thanks for that, Tara. It looked like the video we had was of the fire at the detention center again, but you can see some video of this on our website, wrdw.com. Taylor Morton live there in Thompson for us this morning. For the second time this week, a suspect was arrested after Richmond County SWAT was called in for a barricaded person. Deputies say 26-year-old Terrell Crawford ran into a home, barricading himself inside after seeing the deputy. About an hour later, just before 1:45, SWAT got there and people nearby were evacuated. Crawford surrendered peacefully after about a half hour of talking to authorities. Now, this isn't his first run-in with authorities. In August of 2022, SWAT arrested him after he barricaded himself inside a home after deputies say he shot at a family member. Now he's charged with felony theft by taking, first-degree burglary, and more, and additional charges may be coming as well. The Richmond County Sheriff's Office is looking for this missing 16-year-old, Jaden Linger. Deputies say Linger was last seen Wednesday night around 8 o'clock. She was seen on 2nd Street wearing a pink sweatsuit, a gray headscarf, and gray furry shoes. She's known to hang around the May Park area. If you know anything about where she may be, call the Richmond County Sheriff's Office. A suspect in Orangeburg County is still on the run after deputies say he shot 7 people at a party last month. Deputies say 18-year-old Sincere Gibbs is still considered armed and dangerous. He's accused of opening fire inside the Hindu Temple and Cultural Center in Orangeburg. Gibbs was out on bond for charges in Sumter County at the time and wearing an ankle monitor until officials believe he cut it off about 2 weeks before that shooting. Orangeburg Sheriff Leroy Ravenel said in a warning to anyone helping Gibbs, quote, "We want to warn anybody that's trying to hide him out. If you do, and we find out, you're going to be in the next cell beside him. If you have any information on Gibbs, call the Orangeburg County Sheriff's Office." 6:06 now. Preschool teachers across Georgia getting some extra money in their wallets. Nearly 40 Greenbrier preschool employees got a $500 bonus from the Georgia Department of Early Care and Learning.
The reason we're doing this is because we know how important high quality is for young kids. 95% of their brain is developed by the time they're 5, and when they're immersed in a high quality environment like Greenbrier Preschool, we know they're going to be set up for success and future lifelong learning, and definitely be ready for kindergarten. And the biggest piece of that high quality are the teachers.
She says DECAL is giving out about $17 million across the state. You can qualify for this bonus too. If you work more than 30 hours a week at a quality rated program in Georgia, you should be able to apply for $500. There are more than 4,000 rated child care programs across Georgia. We're on your side this morning with some traffic changes coming next week. The first is a lane closure on Horizon South Parkway in Grovetown. Starting Monday, that closure will be at the intersection of John Deere Parkway and Horizon South Parkway. That closure should last from 9 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. with a full reopening next Friday. You're urged to take a different route and expect delays nearby. The other traffic alert is on Silver Bluff Road across the river in Aiken County. SCDOT says part of the road will be closed and detoured beginning next Thursday. They expect the closure to last about a week. Silver Bluff will be open to local traffic only except at the area of repairs. Officials say to slow down and drive through that area with caution. Still ahead, an executive order All right, thanks, Tim. We have new photos and information on a fire at the Charles B. Webster Detention Center from last night. The fire was discovered in the laundry room just after 8 p.m. Officials say one of the large commercial dryers caught fire, quickly spreading to the immediate area, damaging a second dryer. Officials responded immediately using a fire extinguisher and the building's sprinkler system until firefighters got there, and an inmate pod was evacuated without any problems.
Overall, I think we were able to get everyone out in a timely manner, and no one has any smoke inhalation or anything like that. So thanks to a quick response from the fire department and Central.
Officials believe the fire was started from kitchen towels with chemicals and grease in the dryers. They add the industrial dryers work at a much hotter temperature than the one you have in your home, but officials will continue to investigate the fire. A suspect is dead in a fiery crash while fleeing from authorities. This is some video right after the suspect, 43-year-old Davico Moss, hit an 18-wheeler at Ridge Road and Washington Road. Smoke and flames going up into the air, and authorities were forced to shut down Highway 78 for hours. Your Taylor Martin is live there this morning where that crash ended. So, Taylor, what do we know so far?
Well, Nick, it all started when officers with the GBI and multiple other agencies showed up to Davico Moss's home at the 100 block of Faber Street just before 10 a.m. yesterday morning. They were trying to serve a search warrant, but they say he saw them coming. The suspect was being investigated in the April 13th fatal shooting of Mario Clemens in the 1800 block of Ridgefield Drive. Now, when Richmond County SWAT officers approached Moss, he sped away in a blue Chevy Silverado, causing McDuffie County deputies and state DPS officers to chase after him. The chase continued until a pickup crashed into a tractor trailer at Ridge Road and Washington Road, and the pickup caught on fire. Now, Moss was pronounced dead on the scene just before 10:30 a.m. yesterday morning, and we spoke to one woman who saw the chase.
It was just too much because there was a lot of police and innocent people on the road, and they was going real fast.
Now, the driver of the tractor trailer in that crash was not injured.
All right, thanks for that live update there. Taylor Martin in Thompson for us this morning. That hit 6:34. We're on your side this morning with a safety alert from the FBI's 2024 Internet Crime Report. The report